your say. Call JVS now on 08459 455 555.
It's the phone in. Today I'm asking, is it time to scrap imperial and go metric? Metric signs are to be placed alongside imperial ones on Britain's roads at a cost of at least £3 million. This is being done to assist the increasing numbers of foreign lorry drivers transporting their wares. Department for Transport officials plan to put the signs on bridges, tunnels and contraflows so they show width and height restrictions in metres. Well, although Europe has told Britain we can decide when we go metric, is it not time to do it now? Bite the bullet and get on with it? After all, the longer we continue this ridiculous dual system, the more confusing it is for everyone. Is it time to scrap imperial and just go metric?
Jonathan Vernon-Smith.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
08459 455 555, that's the telephone number. I'd be very interested to hear your view today. I'm going to take a poll to see what the general consensus is. From myself and my team and my two taste testers from earlier, it is absolutely neck and neck. So I'd like to hear from you. What do you think? Is it time to scrap imperial and go metric? Are you unhappy with our current system that combines both imperial and metric measurements? It's just so confusing, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it? I mean, we're some of us are speaking a different language to others. And when you're talking about specific things, like measurements, like speed, like distance, is it not important that we are talking the same language as our European brothers and sisters? 08459 455 555. You know, should everything be standard? Because the vast majority of us now measure things in kilos, you know, however many grams. We measure things in litres, you know. Earlier on we were doing our taste test of 2-litre bottles. So we should standardise it across the system, shouldn't we? And metric is the way to go. Bring us in line with the rest of most of the world. What do you think? 08459 455 555. You can text 07760 173737 and you can email via the website bbc.co.uk/3 counties. Is it time to scrap imperial and go metric?
Have your say. Call JVS now on 08459 455 555.
Jonathan Vernon-Smith.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Robin Pace is from the UK Metric Association. Hello there, Robin.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So is it time to scrap imperial and go metric?
Well, we certainly think it is. It's been going on long enough. Since 1965, in fact, was when it was first announced we were going metric. That's 44 years ago. The government has dragged it on getting on for 5 decades, and it really is time to bring it to an end.
But a lot of people, they know the imperial system. They know, you know, my producer was saying earlier, when she bakes a cake, she thinks of it in ounces, not in grams. Now, for those people, is it not going to be impossible for them to get their heads round the new, you know, the new measurements, the metric measurements?
No, not at all. The way to learn metric measurements is to use them, and with a little bit of practice, after a few days, it'll be second nature. It's actually much easier because it works in tens. You count in tens, so it's much better if your measurement units are also in tens.
I've had the argument presented to me before that the imperial system can be more precise, because you can get kind of like a 100th of an inch and things like that. So in the building world and in various industries, you can be more precise with the imperial measurement.
Well, the building industry standardises on millimetres, which is obviously 1/1000th of a metre, and that is sufficiently precise for building. In the engineering industry, of course, you may need to go to a micrometre, which is 1/1,000,000th of a metre. But you can be as precise or as imprecise as you like if you use the metric system. It's the imperial system which has the problem.
But if your argument is that, you know, we need to standardise things, and I think that is a very sensible argument, there will be some people who will say, why do we have to standardise it the European way? If you look at America, for example, they have the imperial version. Why can we not standardise things just imperial?
Well, it's not actually the European way, it's the world system. The American system is actually different from the British system in some respects. For example, their pints and gallons are different from ours. So it's a question of catching up with the rest of the world.
Robin, thank you very much indeed for your time. Robin Pace there. He's from the UK Metric Association. Barbara is in Letchworth. Hello, Barbara.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, Barbara. What would you like to say?
I thoroughly agree with you.
Oh, Barbara.
Yes, I lived in Africa for 30 years, so I was flung from the deep end into the deep end, and metric is so easy, like your chap before said. You know, everything's in tens, and it is so simple.
It's true.
And once you start to come back to England and then you convert into imperial, well, it's a maze.
Well, it certainly is. And, you know, I think it would only take, if you think about decimalisation and things like that.
Well, there you go.
There was uproar, wasn't there?
Half.
Yeah. There was when decimalisation was put in, there was absolute uproar from people who thought, oh, we'd never be able to get our heads round it. And of course, that wasn't the case. People quickly learnt how to use it. But at the moment, Barbara, I don't know how you feel, but I feel as if we're all talking a different language where measurements are concerned.
No, I'm with you. We've got to go metric.
Can I just ask? I don't mean to ask a rude question, Barbara. But what kind of age are you? Because there are some people who will say, well, this is just an ageist thing. It will mean that all the older people...
No. I'm 70.
You're 70 and you still want to go metric?
Yes. Well, I've been metric. I also use a computer.
When you bake a cake...
I go metric with it and I battle with this imperial measure.
Well, yes, I've got a very old-fashioned Delia Smith book. And if ever I make anything from this Delia Smith book, I have to go to another book just to work out what she's talking about in terms of her weights and measurements.
Right.
Because she's saying, put an ounce of this and you know...
That's right.
Oh, I don't know what it means.
That's right. But if you lived in England, then you live in Africa, and then you come back, you're easy to convert it, believe you me.
Do you reckon we're going to get much support? I mean, at the moment, we're winning in this vote.
Yes, I hope so.
You know.
Because it's time. It's sensible.
And apparently the government have said that it is still their long-term aim to go the metric way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm a tailoress. I do a lot of sewing. Well, I don't do it now, but I used to.
Yeah.
I mean, once I came back to England, I've got to buy a yard. Well, a yard is 36 inches. Whereas when I was in Africa, I'd go and buy a metre. Now, that's 39. So now I know where I stand, don't I? At the moment, I mean, you know, it's Arthur come Arthur here.
The people that are kind of firmly in the imperial department, though, those who say, no, we must keep it as things are, what do you think about them?
No, I think it's old, it's stodgy, it's stuffy.
Oh, did you say stodgy or dodgy?
Stodgy and stuffy.
Barbara, thank you very much indeed. 08459 455 555. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I knew... I mean, we kind of had a feeling this morning that I was going to do very well on this and that a lot of people would be coming out in support. My producer, Laura, foolishly said, no, you've misunderstood. The audience will want imperial. I said, no, you're wrong. You think that all of the audience are stuck in their ways, but actually, the listeners to this programme are progressive. People want metric. I know this. And so far, you're proving it with a vote of 60%, no, probably 70% actually, in favour of going metric.